Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said regarding the thief, وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَةُ فَاقْطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا. The thieves, both male and female, cut off their hands. In the Arabic language, the hand, this word hand has many meanings. It can from here. All this is one hand. Or from the elbow until the end, from here. It is hand. Or from the wrist till the tips of the finger. This is hand. So the Quran said you cut off the hand. Where should I cut? If you don't accept the sunnah, then you will say, anywhere you can cut, anywhere. You cut anywhere. You understand? So it is the sunnah said, no. This absoluteness has to be limited. It is limited. So the sunnah came and said, no. The hand has to be cut only from the wrist. In the absence of the sunnah, you will not be able from where to cut. Are you following me? Good. The sunnah also brings sometimes, this is I think the fourth aspect, that it says the same thing that is in the Quran. Yes, so it affirms whatever already established in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made alcohol haram. The sunnah said also khamr is haram. It is just assuring, affirming, giving the same. The fifth aspect, the sunnah brings rulings that are not in the Quran. New rulings. New rulings that they don't exist in the Quran. Now, can we eat the flesh of donkeys? Domestic donkeys? Eating the flesh of domestic donkeys, halal or haram? Haram? Where? In the Quran? Show me in the Quran that eating the flesh of the donkey is haram. It's not in the Quran. It is where? It's in the Sunnah. It is in the Sunnah. Eating the flesh of domestic donkeys is haram. How about the zebras, wild donkeys? Zebras, halal. The zebras are halal. This is donkey and that is donkey. Zebra is halal and it was hunted at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and they ate it. And the domestic donkey is haram. That is in the Sunnah. Now, can one marry the maternal or paternal aunt of his wife? Can you marry the aunt of your wife while having your wife? So your wife and her aunt, both of them are your wives. Is that allowed in Islam? No. It is haram. So where is it mentioned in the Quran? Is it in the Quran? It's in the Sunnah. New rulings, not in the Quran, but in the Sunnah. So the Sunnah is revelation. So this is the relationship between Sunnah and Quran. Either the Sunnah explains or details what has been summarized, or it specifies and makes exceptions for the general text, or it limited the absolute. It limited that. It said only for cutting the hand from the wrist. Or it brings new rulings that they are not there in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the Sunnah. So, the status of the Sunnah with the Quran, that the Sunnah explains the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you cannot get rid of the Sunnah, and you cannot say Sunnah is something, secondary. Second in the sense, it is not essential. It is very, very essential. Now, if you come across two hadith, both of them are sahih, authentic. Both of them in Muslim or in Bukhari. And there is a conflict. I'll give an example. The Prophet ﷺ, in one hadith he says, whoever touches his private parts should renew his wudu. If you touch your private parts after taking wudu, go and renew the wudu. And this is known as hadith of Busra. There's another hadith which is authentic as well. Hadith Talq ibn Ali says, he was asked about a person touching his private part. He said, it is part of you. Touching a private part, that private part is part of you. Integral part of you. So it doesn't break your wudu. So one hadith says it breaks, the other hadith says it doesn't break. Well, what to do now? It seems that there is a contradiction. But in reality there is no contradiction. The scholars, they said, of course you'll come across different opinions of scholars. You find some scholars, they say, the hadith of Busra is stronger than the hadith of Talq. So they are giving the fatwa, if someone touches his private part, he has to renew the wudu. Because this hadith to them is stronger than the hadith of Talq. Or some of the scholars said, hadith Talq is abrogated. Abrogated, mansukh. It was before, then it was cancelled by the other hadith. In the beginning, it was permissible to touch the private parts, then it was abrogated. Like before, it was permissible to pray towards Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis, then it was abrogated. Now, if any Muslim wants to pray towards Jerusalem, his salah is batila. So they said, hadith of Busra abrogated the hadith of Talq. But the claim of the issue, claiming abrogation, anyone says this abrogated, he has to produce the date. Say, where is the date that this hadith was said on this year, and this hadith in this year? So we know now that this was, the abrogator came after it. And none of the Muslim scholars managed or succeeded in producing the date. So the claim is rejected. Because you cannot accept your claim until you prove that this hadith was said after this hadith. So then we say it is abrogated. So what to do now? The scholar, they say there is no contradiction. The two hadiths are talking about different applications. Different applications. The hadith that says if you touch your private parts, you have to take wudu. If you touch your private part for shahwa, seeking desire and lust, like masturbation. Someone touch his private part, seeking desire. Such a person, in that case, has to renew his wudu. The other hadith talks about a person touch his private part accidentally, by accident. Now you are taking a shower, and now you are using the towel. By accident, you touch your private part. So it says, if you touch the private part and it happened accidentally, then there is no need for you to renew your wudu. Or, if there is a need, imagine a man who's handicapped. He cannot move. And his wife is giving him the wudu. Are you following me? If we say that if you touch the private part, touching the private part breaks the wudu, then she has also to take wudu every time.